ways that they can write the letters in their name and also help them identify the letters in their name. And honestly, when teach on the couch and just talk to them. First of all, it is hilarious. Let Kids Play podcast. Hey, it's Nyetta here with another episode of Let Kids Play podcast. I'm the Mom Playologist. I'm here to support you and your little ones to create fun and engaging activities at home in a playful way. So today we've been doing this whole little series on the CDC milestones and developmental goals for your little ones. So today we're talking about what most kids do by the age of 5. If you're looking for your 3-year-old, this is part 1. 4-year-old, part 2. This is part 3. We're talking about 5-year-olds. And if you've been following along with the series, you know that we don't necessarily agree with these milestones, but this is the baseline with the Activity Playhouse and our play-based framework. We exceed these goals. But I want to start at the baseline to give you all, to give you all ideas on how to meet these milestones in an engaging way that's fun and easier, not necessarily easier, but fun, and where your little one would master the skill versus just checking the block for the skill. Because all of these skills build on top of each other. So we want them to master these skills so that as they get older and these skills start to build on each other, they have an understanding and that foundation is set. So let's get into it. So with most kids, and I have the CDC checklist, and I'll go through each one to give you all tips, ideas, and activities. And so the CDC has 4 categories, which is the social and emotional milestones, the language communication, the cognitive, and the movement physical developmental milestones. So the first one under social and emotional milestones is follow rules or take turns when playing games with other children. This one is, I guess, it's a double. Social and emotional, but I feel like those goals should be broken down separately. So the follow rules or takes turns, the takes turn would be a social, because it's trying to see if they can share and navigate that it's someone else's turn, but it's also that emotional aspect of patience and understanding, and the following rules of not having their way. So with that one, to me, it's mousetrap. Play mousetrap. We play mousetrap all the time. And we work through those emotions of understanding that it's somebody else's turn. And here are the rules of how the game works, because with mousetrap, I don't know if you all familiar with it, but it's you go around the board, you collect cheese or you lose cheese, and it's with mouses. And if you land on a certain piece, then you're trapped inside the trap. Well, my little ones just like to release the mousetrap. So just navigating that. Now, we'll say the very first time we played, it was a lot of big emotions. Now that we play, we rules, we understand how to take turns, we understand that, you know, I may lose a piece of cheese and I'm not going to have a full-blown tantrum about me losing the cheese, because that's part of the rules. Or another game that we play, like, games are really good for this one, really good for this milestone. Uno. Yes, 3 and 4-year-olds can play Uno. It's a very educational game. So just taking turns with Uno and understanding it's someone else's turn and being patient, because you have 4 players most of the time. So understanding that 3 people got to go in front of you. And that leads to them understanding by 5, when like if they go to school, I'm in the cafeteria and have to wait in line in the cafeteria line to grab my food or my lunch, or I have to wait to eat lunch. I can't just go in the pantry and grab something. So The following rules and taking turns, I definitely recommend Mousetrap and Uno because those work very well for me. Sing, dance, or acts for you. So show and tell. That's like some people don't understand the importance of show and tell. I hate that. Here's a strong word, but I hate that preschools and learning centers have taken show and tell out. This is where show and tell is important. They're excited to show something that belongs to them. They're excited to tell you about it, and this for sure meets that milestone. Sing, dance, or acts for you. So, um, with show and tell, it's them. Like I said, it's them acting for you, or like if you do like we do fashion shows because I have a diva, so she likes fashion shows or like a performance to where we do dance breaks. So the stage after dinner, our stage is the kitchen floor. Um, they get up there and they sing and dance. So another one is karaoke. We did karaoke and it was so much fun. So much fun. So those are some things that I recommend. Show and tell and karaoke. The third one is the simple and the dance break. Uh, the third one does simple chores at home like matching sauce or cleaning the table after eating. So I talked about this a little bit in that last episode. I don't necessarily call them chores. It's you being a team player and doing your part in the household. So my little one we have in his closet. It's like an extended hanger thing that I got from Target. So it has the hooks because the shelf is so high, so it has a hook and a bar, and the bar is down at his level. So he hangs up his pants and shirts, and I sort it by season. So the out of season stuff is on top, and the in season stuff is on the bottom. And then we have those three drawers to where he can put his socket underwears, his pajama tops, and his pajama bottoms. So I didn't label the drawers if you because we had already established the routine, and I didn't want to throw him off because he's not necessarily a visual person. He's a hands-on, and if I didn't introduce the visual at first, it would throw him off with the routine that we established. But he matches his socks, so it's all of it is a game and it's play. So we all of us do it at the same time too. So my other two, we all have a day that we do our laundry, and we throw the socks on the bed or the floor, and oh my God, this is red. This is red. Can you find this one? Where's this one? It's I put it on my head. It's a sock missing. So that's how we introduced it to make it fun, and now it's like it's systematic. He knows. All right. I see my brother and sister. They got their basket of clothes. It's time for me to get my clothes. I'm gonna match socks with mommy, and I still put the shirts on the hanger for him, but he hangs it up. Or if I end up doing laundry at nighttime to where they aren't doing their laundry for the week, I put it all on the hangers and stuff like that. I don't match the socks, and they have to hang it up themselves and put up their stuff. So I just fold it and get it ready for them to put up themselves. So that's the easy way. And then clean the table after you have to clear your area. You don't necessarily have to clear the table, but you clean up behind yourself. You clear your stuff. So, and this is just modeling that behavior. So we go and you don't just initially like, hey, clear your area, this, that, and the other. You show them what to do. So, hey, we take our plate over to the trash can. If it's some food left over, we scrape it in there. You take our fork and our plate, and we go put it in the sink. That's how we clear our area. Or if you use paper plates, we take our plate, we take it over here to the trash can, put it in the trash. We're done. We clear our area, and you want to make sure that you're consistent with that. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. We clear our area. I don't care if you're eating in the living room. Clear your area. That's the repetition and routine and consistency that they need. Don't do it for them. Let them clear their area. And yes, at first it will be a lot of emotions, but please let them clear their areas. Okay, so language and communication milestones. So the first one is tell a story they heard or made up with at least two events. For example, a cat was struck in a tree and a firefighter saved it. This one is, to me, is is simple because our kids have an imagination. Ask them what they dreamed about. Ask them what they dreamed about. And that's a question that I actually changed it up because we were asking it for months, and it turned into a full blown thing. But now he's not interested. So at first, when my little one would first get up, "Who? What was your dream about last night?" And then he'll ask me, "What did you dream about last night, mommy?" So it was just a whole little discussion. So ask them what they dreamed about. Or you can ask them, like, if they're playing, like, this is, I'm forgetting, fire truck. So if the little one's pushing the fire truck around, where is he going? See what they say. So that one is always a fun one because you never know what they're gonna say as well. So it's hilarious. Um, so answer simple questions about a book or story after you read or tell it to them. If you watch my last episode, then you know we have a book discussion podcast, fake podcast, where I have a mic for the kids to pass around and tell me about the book, or we discuss the book, and that makes it fun, helps them like remember, and then make sure you a tip that I will say, as well as like doing the microphone, adding props. Like, you don't have to have a microphone. I have a microphone because I do podcasts, but you can turn anything into a microphone. You can grab a hairbrush to pretend it's your microphone. Like, they love it regardless. Um, but another thing I will add is having them engaged in what they're learning, and that's what a play base is kind of taking the child's lead. So when we go to the library to pick out books, they pick the books. So there's some books that I pick that's kind of on topic with what I want them to learn. But majority of our books they pick. I make sure they pick at least two books on their own that they're interested in reading, because that gets them excited about it, and they could tell you easily, recall the story easily with you. Um, so, and then a simple question like, "Oh my God," that's just how I talk, like being dramatic with them. So, chicka chicka boom boom. Oh my God, did you see that letter? What happened? Or the brown round thing. What was that? And just a side note, chicka chicka boom boom. You get some coconuts when you read that book so they can shake it and hear it, cut it open, smell it, touch it. Like, so that's a fun one as well. But yeah, so keep it simple and engaging and dramatic when you're asking the questions. Um, so the third one is keep a conversation going with more than 3 back and forth exchanges. Again, the book discussion, just singing, talking to them about their dream. Like, you have to, people say their little ones are their little besties, you have to treat them that way. You don't want to just make it like robotic and routine of taking care of them. Enjoy the moments with them as well. Like, sit down on the couch and just talk to them. First of all, it is hilarious. It is hilarious to talk to them and what's going on in their minds. Oh my God, when I kids needed, like when I worked at the learning center, just to sit there and talk to them, like it was amazing. So just sit down and talk to your kids, like, who, what do you think about? What do you got going on? Just see what they say. Let me say the craziest thing. But just talking to them to create that conversation dialogue, because some people that don't know how to hold a conversation, and they think it starts like at like 10, 11. It starts by the age of 5, just having that conversation. But you can't say, oh, my child doesn't know how to do this or that, if you haven't tried to engage and incorporate that into their daily routine and learning, because you're their first teacher. So have a conversation with them. And then so the fourth one is uses or recognizes simple rhymes like bat, cat, ball, tall. Um, so that one seems more like a academic based goal. Um, And to make that one, like when I say academic based goal, like the first thing that would come to mind for most is like flashcards. With that one, I would actually go around the house and be intentional about placing stuff around the house and say, "Ooh, bat, bat. Is this a bat?" Like you could do a baseball bat or do like a picture of a bat. Since we're talking about animals, I would do a bat, picture of a bat, and then I try to find the stuffed animal cat. So I'm like, that batting cat, I found the batting cat. So like doing a scavenger hunt, something like that would help with the rhyming. All right, so the third category is cognitive milestones. And let me just say, I apologize if my energy seems a little low. It's 5 something in the morning when I'm recording this, so I apologize. I'm getting there. But the cognitive milestones, which is the learning, thinking, and problem solving. So it's only, oh, okay. I was gonna say because for the 4-year-olds it was like 3 or 4, and I'm like, you need more. And this is the baseline. So this is usually what the doctors and parents to go to because there's research behind this. But our babies can do more. So 6. So it's 6. So counts to 10. We get seed goals over here. So they usually are counting to 20 or 60. But to start at the foundation, counts to 10. So this one, they can count their fruit snacks. They can count their desserts if they do like Skittles or something. They can count their cars. They can count their Barbie accessories. Those Barbie accessories add up. They can count their balls. They can count pom poms. They can count crayons. It's just so many things that they can count, and doing it on a daily like basis. They can count to 10, playing hide and seek. So just being intentional about doing things where they are counting, not necessarily putting flashcards in front of them and stuff like that. So to me, by 5 is not counting to 10. It's recognizing the number 10 and seeing it in the 10 frames. So that's how I introduced the number 10. And this is just, it's hard for me to give you all tips for this because counting to 10 by 5 is such a low standard, which I feel like is a part of the crisis that we're going through. Like instead of lowering the standards for them, because this wasn't the standard with my little one. When my oldest, he's 11. This wasn't the standard. Counting to 10 by 5 was not the standard. It was I want to say counting to 100. Honestly, and at 5 he can count. He could count to 100. So to say that most kids should be counting to 10 by 5 when a couple of years ago this wasn't the standard is showing me that they're lowering the expectations, which is creating the crisis because we shouldn't be lowering the expectation. We should be providing the resources and the information so that we can meet those standards. And that's what I'm here for. So it says count by 10, count to 10. So I'll give you all that information, but truly they should be counting past 10. And if they're not, please click the link, reach out to me, and I got you. I got you completely. I got you. So count to 10, hide and go seek. They can count their crayons, count their fruit snacks, count pom poms. Just they can count anything. They can count the cars on the road when you're driving. They can count the cars in the parking lot. They can count the buggies. They can count out 10 apples when you're at the grocery store. So there's several different ways for them to count to 10. Name the second one is name some numbers between 1 and 5 when you point to them. So that's, I'm trying not to get into my emotions with these standards. Let me read it again because I really just got sidetracked. Name some numbers between 1 and 5 when you point to them. That's recognizing the numbers and making sure you're intentional about identifying numbers to them. So when you're in the grocery store, you can play I Spy. Oh, I see the number one. And they can look for it and then they'll tell you, like, ooh, I spy the number two. Like take turns like that, and then recognizing where you can, if you all have a sand table, or you're doing some type of sensory being, you're writing the number one. You can make the number one with Play-Doh or number five with Play-Doh, and have them identify it. So that's them naming and recognizing the letters and saying what it is. Um, Again, this milestone is mind blowing for me. Okay. The next one, use words about time like yesterday, tomorrow, morning, or night. So I love this one. This one is just, so some schools use this as like the circle time where they sit on the carpet and talk about it. But excuse me, I don't know what that was. But like I said before, and I've been saying, excuse me, I'm gonna make it. I got it. Okay. Um, like I've been saying before, just having a discussion with them. So when my little one goes down for bed, he's a foodie. So we do the I love you, sleep well, and then he's like, Mommy, what are we having for breakfast in the morning? So I'm intentional about saying tomorrow in the morning we are having such and such. So when he gets up, is it tomorrow yet? Yes, it is. The sun is about to come up. So just helping them, or if you see the moon and the sun going down, it's about to be nighttime. So teaching them that way and making it like at their level, just talking about them. Okay, so tomorrow, so that means when the sun goes down, it comes back up, and they'll look for that type of stuff to understand that it's the next day. And then if you do like a little calendar where you have the days of the week, also make sure you're identifying like today is Monday, yesterday was Sunday, tomorrow is Tuesday. So doing it that way. Uh, the next one, pays attention for 5 to 10 minutes during activity. For example, during story time or making arts and crafts. Screen time does not count. So they should, at this age, 5, because most of them are in kindergarten unless their birthday is late, it should be at a 15 to 20 minute time span. And excuse me, I feel like they pay attention when you speak their love language, which is play, which is why I don't do worksheets before 5. Um, yeah, I don't do worksheets before 5. 6 and up, you gonna get these worksheets. You gonna get these worksheets. But before 5 or 5 and under, I don't do worksheets. I focus on play-based activities because having them sit for a period of time with something they're interested in is the repetition for their body to sit still. Period. So like my little one, I know if I put sand in front of him, he's going to sit there for almost an hour. Um, if I put a sheet of paper in front of him, he might not sit down at all. But when he's 5 and up, we'll get there and we'll work on that. I mean, so it depends. So my oldest goes to a STEAM academy. He rarely uses worksheets or paper, period, for that matter. They use paper to when they're writing their papers, but outside of that, they don't use worksheets either. So I'm not just like teaching my kids play based stuff and then putting them into an environment to where it's all worksheet based and then they have behavior issues. If you're teaching your kids in a creative and fun and engaging way, you want to make sure that if you stop homeschooling and you send them to a school that it aligns with your values, um, and things from your home. Like they have to match, or you're gonna have a ton of issues. So my little one, I put him in front of sand, and then so something that he may or may not like, I put him in front of him, but I'm sitting there with him. So that's not an independent activity at first. But a way to see if your little one is engaging and sitting down and doing something is a puzzle. Um, by 5, I would be putting like a 20-piece puzzle in front of them. But if they never did a puzzle, then I would start with 5 pieces. So like everything you start, if it's new and you're just introducing it to them, I don't care how old they are. Start at levels and build on it. So if this is their first time doing a puzzle, I would do a 4-piece puzzle. Make it simple, 4-piece puzzle, because we're teaching them to master, not just check the block. So 4-piece puzzle. Once they can put that together, then you go to like a 7 or 10-piece puzzle, and you just build on that. But to go back to the goal, pays attention for 5 or 10 minutes. I would do a puzzle, and I would do story time, because story time, like I said, if you take them to the library and let them pick out the books, they're going to be engaged into that book because it's something they picked out. They're proud of it and they want to read it because they picked it out. Um, Another one is like arts and crafts. So most kids are not into the cute little arts and crafts where they have everything cut out for them, they have everything laid out for them, and then the teacher or Pinterest is telling you to glue it and put their name on it and say that they did it. Like, I don't litter, but just to drive my point home, I would throw it out the window. But they love process art. So you put, or loose parts, put things in front of them and let them get creative with it and watch how long they sit there. Um, Play-Doh, let them mix the colors, watch how long they sit there. So just taking their lead and not giving them too many instructions or rules would help them sit there for that time period and be engaged and participate. Um, so the next one is write some letters in their name. This one is also fun. Sand. I use sand. I use salt. I use gel in a Ziploc bag. I use oblique. I use Play-Doh. So there's so many ways that they can write the letters in their name and also help them identify the letters in their name. And honestly, when teaching letters and sounds to them, I feel like the letters and sounds in their name should be some of the first letters that they learn. The next one is name some letters when you point them out. So that's again identifying and recognizing the letters. I just gave you several ways that you could do it. So you could do the magnetic letters because they're hands-on. The word cross puzzles, the big ones, like what you would do outside to create a crossword puzzle. We use those as learning tools to help them identify letters. So if we're working on like 3 to 4 letters, we'll use like cotton balls to trace the letters word puzzle. We'll do like when we're going to Target, identify those letters and those sounds. Or so like at first Target was the red store, then it became the store that started with the letter T, and then it became the Target store. So we build on it. Just like Publix. Publix was the green store. Then it's the letter that starts with the letter P. Then it's it's the store that starts with the letter P. Then it's the store that has an X in it because I wanted him to be able to identify the X, which is one of the hardest letters for them to remember. And then it became Publix. So I said it like that because we're working on like they'll be introduced to the syllables, the in the kindergarten first grade. So I say it like that so that it's introducing it to them, and then it'll click for them because they've already did it in an engaging way. So that's that one. That category was rough for me. So the last one is movement and physical development milestones. So buttons and buttons, that was in what they need to do by 4. So like I told you in the last video, you have different manipulatives from Amazon or Lakeshore where they can practice buttons. Now they need to practice button and unbuttoning their pants. So that's where the buttons play in. And then movement, physical development, the last one in hops on 1 foot. So that is actually something that we would introduce at 3. And that's where like the freeze game comes into play, or like hopscotch and all of that stuff. So they should be doing it by 5, but I really feel like we should be starting that goal at 3. So like I said, I don't agree with all of these milestones, but the CDC is our guidelines, what the doctors kind of go by, and it's our baseline. And I'm here to help you exceed these goals because they're the bottom of the barrel, and we're trying to get out of this crisis with our little ones. So that's what I have for you. Like I said, that was rough for me, having a 5-year-old count to 10. We should be beyond that as a society. So I'm gonna go on my rant. Okay. I'm gonna let you all go. Thank you all so much for listening. I love giving you all this information. If you like this episode, and of course, if you want more, let me know in the comments below on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share wherever you're listening to me from in the world. We have some people that listen from Portugal, Canada. I appreciate my international audience as well. And until next time, this is Nyetta, the Mom Playologist. Bye. Good morning. Did I wake